Welcome to another episode of It's Been 2 Weeks. Today is April 18th. John, it's been 2 weeks. So, what you been up to?
A whole lot of nothing, really. Same old, just working. Been reading a lot more.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Still playing that stupid game. Other than that, not much. A whole lot. Not much. Just surviving. You?
Yeah. Pretty much the same old school. I've been going out and helping out my dad with some of his landscaping work. But other than that, pretty much the same. I started a new class, which is an asynchronous class. I don't know if you guys remember the whole debacle of like.
Are you sure?
Yes, I started submitting work because this teacher or this professor actually put shit on Canvas and stuff like that. I learned a lesson. You know, something that I feel like a lot of people in this country probably don't.
Well, look, yeah, it's about growth.
It's about growth, exactly. So I'm taking nutrition actually, which is it's not like a hard requirement, but the group of what that class is a part of, I believe, is a requirement that I need for graduation, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like a prereq.
Like a prereq, yeah, that's pretty much what it is. So I'm taking nutrition. Plus, I mean, fuck it, I'm getting old. I need to learn about, fucking
what's gonna kill you,
what's gonna kill me, and how diet affects me and stuff like that.
Real quick, have you heard anything about like apparently like how I guess like every generation kind of has like their leading cause of death within,
right?
Apparently for millennials it's colon cancer.
That makes sense. I mean, we
that's pretty fucked up.
We eat a lot of fucking processed foods. We probably don't take a lot of fiber, and yeah, that makes sense.
I always knew I was going to shit myself to death.
Well, not to mention also like millennials, for the most part, I think we consumed a lot of alcohol.
More so than our parents?
I would
in the 80s? Come on.
I mean, that's true. I don't know, but I feel like we definitely...
And in the 90s, we weren't drinking in the 90s. The 90s was pretty hard for alcohol too.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
But we did the whiskey and shit.
Yeah.
We're doing more of this stuff, like the craft beers and shit like that for a minute. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
But it could also just be food too as well. Because I mean, I feel like a lot of the food that we eat or we ate was very like...
It was from drinking from the water hose.
From drinking from the water hose, imagine, during your young days. I would do that.
I used to do it all the time. And like an idiot, without fail, turn it on, start gulping in. Water's fucking piping hot because the hose has just been sitting in the sun.
Sitting outside.
Like, God damn it. And you have to wait. It seems like fucking an hour for it to finally cool off. But
good God.
That was some of the best tasting water ever, though, dude. I'm not going to lie.
Because I mean, like you were fucking like dying of thirst by the time that you actually like realized like I need to drink water, So like, yeah, definitely. I could see that happening. Jesus Christ. But let's move on to what I would say is essentially the big story that has happened in the past 2 weeks. Although it has been a pretty busy 2 weeks, honestly.
Yeah, it has. But it's kind of one of the sadder parts of it is like, yes, this is kind of taking over things, which is really weird to say considering there's still a war going on and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, this is something that at least in my opinion, I don't know. Like, if this doesn't break his fucking like his his base, I don't know, like this seems like it's something that should at least cause some sort of like it will for some, but it won't for others.
Yeah, but basically what me and John are alluding to is Trump essentially posting a picture of him depicted as Jesus Christ healing a sick man, an AI generated picture, and then later deleting it because he realized that it was a bad idea.
With like 3 of the 4 horsemen in the background, up in the clowns. Have you seen the one motherfucker with the wings and shit? I'm like, that's no angel.
I fucking thought they were just angels, honestly, but it's not even like it looks like military men.
That's the thing. Like the one in the center with the wings, I'm like, that's some fucking Diablo 3 angel right there. Like right. It looks very ominous, kind of.
Yeah, it is. But this is from I believe it was the BBC. So Trump deletes post depicting him as Jesus-like figure after backlash. Posted hours after Trump previously wrote a lengthy criticism of Pope Leo XIV in Truth Social. Trump's page featured an AI image of himself seemingly healing a sick man in a hospital bed. The image shows Trump wearing a garb similar to what Jesus is wearing in most depictions and glowing hands, one placed on the forehead of a sick man, the other held to Trump's side. On the left corner, a woman is with clasped hands in prayer. To the right, a nurse looking up at the amazing Jesus-like Trump. Behind Trump, the American flag, a pair of bald eagles, and soldiers with an angel-like aura are featured in the sky. Faced with backlash, Trump deleted the post and told the press, "It's supposed to be me as a doctor making people better. And I do make people better. Make people a lot better." So that's the world that we live in right now, or the current state of affairs as far as like the United States goes. Look, that's the Antichrist. That's literally the Antichrist, because there was that one, I forgot what scripture it says. Be wary of those that will say they are me, or they're like me, because they will just lie to you and take advantage of you. What's going on right now, you know? So I don't know. To me, it's just like, what more proof do you want?
I think people are missing out on a key fact about the whole Trump Jesus thing, which has me really excited, because I wasn't bothered when I seen that picture. I'm like, you know what? I'm not over religious, but I know a fair amount of the story of Jesus. And part of that story is dude does get crucified by a bunch of Jews. So
that is very true. So,
you know, let him be Jesus. Let him.
If the story goes that way, you know what?
That's what I'm saying.
I'm okay with it, you know? To me, it's just the absurdity of like how someone would, and mind you, like, I'm not religious myself either. Like, I view Jesus as like a fucking revolutionary, or someone like almost like a fucking like a fucking essentially a leftist, if you were to like compare it to today's times, right?
Oh, he's a prophet in like other religions. So
yeah, he's a prophet, but like he's also someone who's basically came into a system or what you call it, a political system, or just a world where there was hierarchies, where basically the poor people were just being used for profiteering in the same way that's happening right now, right? And Jesus came in and it's like, no, everyone should be caring for themselves. You know, it's all about the community. It's all about, you know, this and this and that. And there's, you know, the things that are said that he healed people and stuff like that. That to me, those are absurd claims, but you know, I wasn't there. Also, like the fact that he came back 3 days later after his crucifixion is another thing too. But the inclusion of Jesus and everything that Jesus did was essentially to, and this is my perception of it, was to shake the religious state, which was where they held God to be this fucking entity that was very fucking rigid and strict about the way how things should be done in the world and stuff like that. And it's just like, he came in and just like, no, you care about each other. You take care of yourselves. Yes, you fucking like, you honor God, but like, you know, have compassion towards yourselves, because you're no better than the person you're fucking talking shit about. You get me?
Well, I mean, Jesus is a work of the New Testament.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like you go to the Old Testament, which is like the Hebrew God, that the first part of it, where it's like, dude's just a dick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he has every right to be, I guess. You know, you go through the text, but New Testament, Jesus comes along. Yeah, you're going to rewrite it to fit your narrative.
Yeah.
The beliefs you want to put forth.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right,
That's what I'm saying. It's like, yeah, that character has been around for a minute, but they rewrote his origin story a little bit.
He's been retconned.
Yeah, he was retconned. Like, who was it? What's that dude's name? Hassan
Biker, or no?
The debater dude.
Mehdi Hassan?
Yeah, Mehdi Hassan. I forgot who he was debating, and they brought that shit up, and he was like, bro, like even in the Quran and stuff, yeah, like Jesus is there. They have no problem with Jesus.
Yeah.
He's just not the son of God. They're like, the Virgin Mary shows up more in the Quran than she does in the actual Bible. Like these religions give their fair shake to everyone but it's just like the Christian version is something completely different. Like they're trying to, like, it's not, they're all the same characters. It's just different interpretation of the character.
Yeah, definitely. So it's the same story being told 3 different ways by 3 different people, essentially. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And I mean, like, look, one of the things that I will always, as far as like the New Testament goes, the New Testament wasn't supposed to be written down. Immediately after Jesus comes and resurrects and he speaks to his apostles or to his believers, it was supposed to be handed down like mouth to mouth. Like like they're supposed to be making out and telling the words to each other while they're making out. No, that's obviously a joke. But like, I mean, it's supposed to be passed down through oral traditions. We've all played the game of telephone. When something's fucking passed down from word from
it gets diluted. Yeah,
it gets diluted, and a lot of things end up getting changed. Some of the stories end up being fucking like over they're told in an overcompensating manner. That basically like the truth or the initial product was already lost a long time ago. So, I mean, I can logically think, or at least in some way reach the conclusion that like whatever story we're reading right now, as far as what the Testament or the New Testament is, it's probably bastardized already. It's already been influenced by whoever decided to transcribe it and, put it into paper and stuff like that. Same thing with whatever scrolls that were supposedly found that spoke of the New Testament and stuff like that. Like, this is already like, it's not the original product. And not to mention, it's been translated from multiple languages. So there's a lot of like nuances lost in between that too as well. Because obviously languages don't translate one to one, I don't know. That's my whole fucking, I guess you could say criticism of the New Testament. It's not a bad thing though. Like, I mean, generally what the New Testament talks about is about compassion, essentially. And then like it challenges the Old Testament in many ways. But then there's also the whole fucking Revelation shit and all this other fucking like doom cult kind of shit that's just like, that's a little bit too much.
I've always, I've seen a couple things though where they're talking about the book of Revelations, and when the time period when it was written, it was during like the Roman Empire when the Christians and Catholics were becoming more persecuted.
Mm-hmm.
So it was more in reference to that. That's why, like, when you go into like I don't remember if it's even like Da Vinci Code shit, but like those weird conspiracies about like the number 666 and then Nero, it's like because it's coded within that shit, because those were the psychopaths of the time, what I mean? Those were the ones bringing the Armageddon upon the people of that faith.
Yeah.
So that's usually the interpretation I hear about all that now. It's just it's written reflect the sentiment and the times that they were living in.
Yeah, like things that would bring down the empire, essentially. Yeah. And I mean, like, when you see the Antichrist right now in office, and he's definitely bringing down our empire.
That's what I was going to say. So how do you feel seeing your president post up pictures like that?
It's fucking stupid, dude. I never thought that I would see the day where a president would be so full of himself that he would need to post pictures in that manner just to fucking fluff his own fucking ego and to like compare himself to that sort of figure, because like he's nothing of that. He doesn't represent anything of what like Jesus was according to scriptures and stuff like that, and the way that he's portrayed. He's nothing of that sort. And while I'm not like necessarily angry or in any sort of way feeling negative that I'm not offended that he portrayed himself like that. It's just more so like, you're full of yourself, dude. Like,
what's more offensive, this or that black comedian doing whiteface to make fun of Erica Kirk?
I find neither of them offensive. That's the thing. You get me? Like,
okay, what's least acceptable?
Least acceptable to me would be the whole Jesus shit, because like you're kind of like you're fucking like you're tooting your own horn. You get me? Like, you're making yourself.
I just want to because of the outrage from the other thing.
The whole fucking Drewski shit, dude. I don't give a fuck about it. He's punching up. I don't give a fuck. You get me?
No, yeah. I just, like I said, I just bring it up because how apparently whiteface is wrong and all this other stuff. Now I'm just
But I mean, like,
so if Drewski had done whiteface and pretended to be Jesus, that'd be okay.
I think that would be fucking hilarious.
But that's kind of he needs to do it now.
But at least like to me, the reason why it would be hilarious is because he's literally portraying white Jesus, a fucking a fictional figure that doesn't exist. There is no white Jesus.
Did you? Oh, it was on it was an Adult Swim back in the day, like probably like the early 2000s, late 2000s. It was called Black Jesus. Did you ever watch it?
It sounds familiar, but
I didn't watch it a lot because I either was asleep or I was doing other shit. So I caught a couple episodes here and there. There's not a lot I can quote from it, but fuck, it was funny, dude.
Yeah,
he was just like in like the fucking in the neighborhood and shit. Just oh my god, dude! I need to look up clips.
Wait, it was like an actual like real live action show, right?
Yeah, it was like and it was just.
I remember seeing like fucking videos of it, or at least like some sort of advertisement for it, like one of the reels. but I just don't remember watching the show.
I think it started coming about, or it came about around the same time where the Boondocks really started picking up steam. I think around that era, but that was some good shit.
That's fucking hilarious though. But like, I think that fucking Drewski white facing Jesus, like white face, that would be fucking dope. I'd laugh my ass off. And I think he should. If anything, I think he should fucking like dress up as Trump, put the fucking garb on himself, and just
not even as Trump. Just be straight Jesus. Just be straight Jesus.
So he's received a lot of backlash just for that. I think one of the posts that I remember reading from Twitter was like, "Oh, Mr. President, we love you, but you can't be doing something like this," and stuff like that. And then there was people who were just basically running with the Antichrist shit just to kind of push that narrative, which is fucking true. But like, not that he's the Antichrist, but I mean, like, this is literally what the Antichrist would do, right? But how do you perceive it? Like, what do you think about this? Like, the fact that a president did something like that?
Okay. It's funny that you say the fact that a president, like, normally I'd be like, wow, our fucking president, like, but having had, I guess, a normal American's experience with Trump as president, I can't even have that, like, wow, I can't believe our president. I'm just like, it kind of just felt like a matter of time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's buying into his own hype, and you can't even say it's like he's the worst case of it. It's like, I gotta go bring up that Beatles thing, we're bigger than Jesus.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers thought they were, and then you go after the one thing where people don't really fuck around. Trump thought the same thing.
Yeah.
And then him being him, he's doubling down and he's going after look, I know everyone says the president of the United States is the most powerful man in the world. I've always kind of like firmly believed like he's the second most powerful man, the first being the Pope. Because I don't care what your nation is, Christians and Catholic, you go after the Pope. They're, you know what I mean? Like, it's especially the real believers, they're going to choose their faith over everything else. Yeah. So yes, you the second most powerful man thought he was the first, decided to fucking throw shade at the first, and he's, unfortunately, when I say unfortunately, it's like this is what was the turn, but like he's starting to learn that no, you're fucking around too much.
Yeah, there's certain fucking lines you don't cross.
Which I was wrong thinking that fucking kids was that line. And then I was wrong thinking that bombing a school full of them was that line. But, you know, I guess
they're
man
willing
in the sky.
They're willing to spend money to bomb kids, but not for your healthcare. That's the one key point that I want you guys to all.
Well, if the kids are dead, there's no one to care for. So what's the point of the free healthcare?
No, I mean for us.
2 birds, 1 stone.
For us, but I mean like that whole fucking line of like it's supposed to be me as a doctor making people better, and I make people feel better. That's absurd.
I think like to his core demographic for a time, maybe like I'm sure a lot of them still do feel better. I'm sure he does make them feel better, but
racism is back, y'all.
I think that part of it is true where it's supposed to be him representing people,
his fucking cult. His cult. That's
but
what
he's he wasn't a doctor. He was Jesus.
Yeah.
Everything about about that is true except for the doctor part.
Yeah.
And I know before we recorded, we talked about like we have to talk about it. But as we're talking about it, I'm like, I don't want to talk about it because like,
it's just like,
how the fuck like. Why are we talking about the president posting an AI picture of him as Jesus? Like, what the fuck is this? And I know we just talked about this outside, but it's like literally saying this out loud.
Yeah.
Into a fucking microphone. Oh, man. I love this world.
This is the world that we live in. And quite frankly, like I said, I don't know. I told you outside, like if you were to tell me like 15 years ago that this was the state that we were going to be in, I wouldn't believe you. I legitimately wouldn't believe you. I remember, okay, so like, I think back to every time that there's been some sort of like big world-ending event that we perceived as a big fucking calamity that was happening in the world, like Y2K, you know, like, and then also the fucking Ebola shit, and previously like 9/11, swine flu, all this other shit that like we've all fucking like come across, and then we've come out like we've survived through it. You get me? Like we're still here, kind of thing. And that kind of gave me like some sort of like confidence in the ability of this country to overcome these things that are happening right now. So when COVID happened, I was like, nah, we're good. This is America. We're going to be good. We're going to handle it. Trump totally fucking just destroyed all of that confidence that I had in our country to fucking handle a pandemic of that sort of, do you get me? Like you like you did nothing to try to like.
Oh, 100% not.
Yeah, you get me?
I will say this, and it's not to give credit to anyone because that's not what this is. But for our situation, and let's be honest, as a country, our situation was a lot better off than a lot of other places. But like, considering the president at the time, I give ourselves a little bit of a pat on the back. I'm like, we could have made it out of there a whole lot worse than we did.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, but I don't know. I always kind of, maybe it's for my own sanity, give that time like a little bit of a pass. I'm like, could have been a whole lot worse. You know what I mean? Like it could have been, I mean, not that it was great, but we fared a lot better than
absolutely. Yeah. But I mean, like, it's all about a standard of living, right?
Yeah.
And as far as like the standard that we lived here in the United States, if you were to compare it to other countries, yes, it was better. But like, I
100%
having that base standard of living that we expect here in the United States, you know, like that was a pretty bad time, and it was all because of the failures of Trump.
Yeah,
let's just acknowledge that, because ultimately he didn't do anything about it. He ended up cutting off. I don't know if it was funding or he decided to just like not fund the funding that went towards purchasing PPE and stuff like that. So we were severely under-equipped for that sort of like that scenario, you know. So I don't know.
Sometimes I wonder, like, because I remember when all that started happening. Did you ever watch the movie Deep Impact? The Meteor movie with Morgan Freeman. He's the president.
No. No.
Well, so there's a scene in that when they finally break the news that the meteor comet or whatever is going to come and fuck everything up, right? So the president, Morgan Freeman, he's giving the speech about it, and he's like, starting right now, I forgot what he calls it. He goes, I'm putting a price lock on everything. So it's like whatever you paid for water or whatever yesterday, it's that the price is not going to change because of this. And he did that on everything. So like my thought was like, during COVID, why wouldn't you just put a freeze on like rent and mortgages for like, let's say 2-3 months, and then just be like, for 1 month, all non-essential. And by non-essential, I mean like not even fucking fast food, because McDonald's wasn't essential during COVID. Just everyone take like a month and a half off. You're not going to fall behind on anything. Everything's going to be just, it's a freebie for now. We got to get through this shit. I would imagine like a month and a half of people not interacting and mingling should be enough time for COVID to just kind of fucking die out, or you know what I mean? Significant numbers in what we were trying to do. I don't know. Like, it just seems like if you really wanted to, you could have gone about. I mean, motherfucker was like handing out checks towards the end of it, or not the end of it, but you know what I mean? Just to try to fucking
just stimulate the economy and shit like that.
Like, so like, why couldn't you have done that? Like, you know?
Because money needs to be made in this machine, dude.
But here's the thing. If it had gone worse, you're going to start hemorrhaging money.
They never think about that though. It's always like
they do. That's the thing though. I don't know, bro. Like,
I don't feel like they really like, if they acknowledge it, it's kind of like, it's a risk assessment. It's like, it's like, this is like a low percentage of risk. We're going to lose more money if we don't do anything now in comparison to like the possibility of, you know, you get me? Like, it's that sort of like object permanence kind of bullshit, you know? At least that's the way that I see it. If you're losing, if you're projected to lose, say, fucking, I don't know how much money a corporation would lose in a month if there was no fucking, like, you get me, like, no production or no fucking, like, no goods being sold. I would imagine there would probably be what, like, maybe close to like $1 million or a little bit more, maybe.
Well, here's the thing though, like, yes, production, one, I would imagine you're still selling certain goods, like for essential stuff. Like, okay, I'm sure Amazon would still be up and running. Yeah, they'd probably see a dip in sales because people aren't working for that bit, but they'd still see sales. And they'd still see sales from like, I mean, surely you have like some sort of like catalog of shit that you have in store. The other thing is, I get what you're going to say. Like, yeah, you're not producing product, but you're also not losing that money on payroll for that certain amount of time. You know what I mean? When I'm talking about a freeze, it's a freeze. Like, yeah, like normal people aren't paying shit, but I'm not going to like be like here and try to justify paying them for that time they're not working. But
also that's another thing too, you have to kind of take in consideration too. Like what we're like, even though they're not going to be paying, you know, say like you okay, let's do this sort of case scenario. You have 1 month where your rent is not due, your bills are not due, everything is frozen as far as like goods and services are frozen to the price of what they were, but you're not making any more money.
Yeah, but okay, again, if the government was handing out checks.
No, I know. But I mean, like, if we're stuck frozen for a month and not that sort of like that moment in time, but you're not making any more money, you're not spending money.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. So if all of a sudden we all got that stimulus check, so you do it. If you all you have to worry about is your food, which at that point should be the only necessity, like food, toiletries, and shit like that. $1,500 for that month should cover you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So $1,500 for like what, the next 2-3 months? That's still like
$1,500 for 2-3 months. I don't think so.
no, every month. If that's your allowance for those 2 to 3 months that you're off, and that's just to cover. And I'll even go and do it like you do EBT. No alcohol, no cigarettes, because that ain't necessity.
I'm sorry, but that's necessities.
Look, then you know what? Fucking you get your ass out there and start telling that ass if you're that hard up for liquor or whatever. But you know what I mean? Like
I can imagine you jonesing for a fucking cigarette for those fucking 3 months if you didn't have it.
Look, bro. Look, sacrifices gotta be made, right? Look, I'm not gonna be a hypocrite. Fuck it. Either I quit smoking or I'll start robbing places. I don't give a fuck. I'll start robbing places.
But I mean, like, okay, like if you were to do that perfect scenario where you're giving people an allowance, a monthly allowance, depending on how many people, like, or how many people you're feeding.
Because here was my thing too, is like the Lakers got $1 million off of that because of supposed lost revenue.
Right?
Why the fuck
why do they need
and only $1 million?
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro. You know what I mean? If the government had that much money to dish out to, like, then just freeze shit. You know what I mean? Just like kind of just stop time a little bit.
Yeah.
And just do that.
Yeah. No, I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is that, like, because even though, like, they wouldn't be making the absurd amount of money that they would be if the economy continued to go like without freezing time, stuff like that, they would be bitching about it to the president or to the politicians, and the politicians are ultimately bought out by the corporations. So they would, no matter what. That's the reason why I believe that it used to be that you would have to, like, it was like 2 weeks that you would have to, like, if you caught COVID, you had to, like, stay home for 2 weeks. And then they brought it down to 3 to 5 days. Why? Because they wanted to keep the fucking production going. They wanted the workforce to go, like, yeah, this has been long enough. We need to go back into work. You guys need to produce. We need to make money, kind of deal. You get me? At the expense of whatever the fuck it, like. And then what ended up happening? A bunch of people ended up catching COVID quickly because it was only literally like 3 to 5 days, you know? So this sort of bullshit, just like, it's just capitalism, dog. Honestly, that's what it is. Money needs to be made. That's, like I said.
This is this wasn't planned, but I just wanted to bring it up real quick. This kind of like dovetails off of that Trump AI thing, because he in the press thing where he was calling it like a misunderstanding where he thought he was a doctor or whatever. You know how that DoorDash granny was there?
Oh yeah.
You know, there's like the controversy with her and shit.
Well, I didn't know about the controversy about her, but
so because people are giving her shit, we're like, she's constantly at like MAGA events. They're like, they should fly her around to speak about shit like this, right?
Right.
And so a lot of people are like, oh, she's like not a crisis actor, but you know, one of those like a fake
granny that's suing fucking.
People are looking at.
I forgot this is 7%.
Yeah,
dog.
But you're feeling it.
Yeah,
me too. But they're kind of giving her shit, and was it DeFranco or I forgot who it was, but essentially she's doing the DoorDash thing because her husband legit has cancer,
right?
So she's doing it to pay for that, and so like now the narrative's turning to like people are starting to feel bad for her because they're just using her for this shit.
Yeah, they are.
So the latest one where she was doing the DoorDash to the White House with the McDonald's was to kind of promote the no tax on tips, but they're saying like what she doesn't understand is that mainly just benefits you for the electronic tips, like not the cash tips, is what she's going after because of the medical payments. So they have her like going around touting this thing with the fucking president, not fully understanding that it still was not going to benefit her the way that she thinks it's going to benefit her. But that's all they've been doing with her. They've just been taking her from place to place, having her sell her story about her sick husband, which is true. And her legit goal is to help with his medical funds. Like she's like, that's her thing. Like, I can't begrudge her for this. Hopefully she gets some kind of money from this. I can't imagine she is if she's still having to do this bullshit. But you know what I mean? Like it's like,
wait, I'm sorry. I kind of got lost with the whole electronic and cash. So
like there's like a thing about something about not taxing the tips.
Right.
But I guess the way they laid it out in her situation where for like DoorDash and stuff like that, you see the most benefit from it if it's like an electronic tip through the app,
right.
not through like the cash tips.
No, because I mean, one way or another, that look, cash, like you don't report tips, cash. So like,
but she's not understanding that. Like, I guess I forgot how they explained it with her, but the point is like it is trying to point out like she doesn't realize like how kind of not how they're fucking her over, but like that she's just like another kind of tool. Like
that's what they all are to them, essentially. I mean, like there's
that even the moment where Trump was like he's talking about the men's and women's like sporting events or whatever, and he asked her, and she's like, "Oh, I have no opinion on that. I'm here for this."
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, dude, like
you're not paying her enough to do something like that.
Yeah, exactly. And I doubt that. I would imagine they're probably covering the cost of her travel, but I doubt that she's getting paid for anything.
She's not getting paid for anything, dude. Like,
yeah.
And look, that's the sad part about it too, is the fact that like, what was that one dude from fucking from the Matrix, the one who betrays everyone? Cypher?
I know. Cypher.
Ignorance is bliss.
Mm-hmm. And like, you know what was like for me, because I didn't know this part until I seen the video. Apparently, Trump tipped her like $100. I'm like, bro, you're the president. You could have just been like,
you've been making money out of this whole fucking presidency, dude.
Like, look,
like legitimately.
If you at any point wanted to just give the slightest bit of like kind of chance of like any kind of endearment to even your harshest critics, I would have been like, you know what? I'm gonna cover your husband's medical bills. Not $100 fucking.
You know what? Like, yeah, like
honestly, if that
I was thinking, I'm gonna give you $1,000. You get me? Like that's how fucking like, but no, like if like
legit. If he did that, I would have been like, you know what? The motherfucker got me.
Yeah.
Like even if it was just out of pure narcissism, just for I'm like, give me more of that. Be as fucked up as you want to be, but I mean you help someone. Yeah. I got to give you some sort of credit.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
but you can't even do that.
You can't even fucking do that. He doesn't think about it that way.
No.
You know what? I think it stems from this fucking like state of mind where he feels like he's entitled to that sort of like, you get me, that fanfare, I guess you could say, or just like that sort of like adoration. Yes, there you go. God damn, my brain doesn't think.
It's the beer. It's these saber-toothed squirrels, man.
For real, dude. I didn't even notice the fucking like it's actually a saber-toothed squirrel. But yeah, like it's so fucking weird because it's like on the topic of people feeling like they're entitled to that sort of like, you know, stuff like that. It's like I never understand where that comes from. When you haven't done anything truly like for the people, and you're just kind of giving out scraps and thinking that that's enough to fucking like compel people to come to your cause. It's like that's like, dude, that's, you get me? Like
it has to be upbringing or like circumstances of like your part of like your developmental stage or something. Like there had to have been something to like lead you down that path or that train of thought.
Yeah, because it doesn't seem doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem like something that would happen. Like, you get me, like naturally, at least it had to be taught or something of that sort. So on the topic of like the whole fucking Trump thing, what has he done to make you feel better?
Do you have something or no?
No, I'm generally asking because that's what he claims, and I'm not.
No, I know. Like my first instinct was to say something dumb, but I'm like, no, I'm legit gonna try to think of something, and not for a gag or anything, but it's like there's nothing. And I'm kind of digging deep. Like, I mean, you've heard me on the other podcast. Like, I would go hard on the pro jokes and shit, but like, legitimately, there's, I guess, whatever fucking legislation or whatever bullshit he's passed that does taxes. Okay, I got a little bit more on my return.
Well, there's supposedly like, what was it? I think it was
the no tax on overtime and all that stuff.
It's not even no tax on the overtime. It's just, well, I mean, it is on the overtime, but it's only like the 0.50 that's not taxed.
Yeah, but like as a I guess positive.
No, definitely.
Like,
I mean, like
done, I guess, for me, but like I guess that, but helps a little. But I mean, I guess I kind of lose it back to just filling up at the tank.
I mean, that's the other thing.
You know
too,
what I mean?
right?
Like I don't. I break even.
And so I can't say that there's anything personal that he's fucking done that has made things better for me, but his actions have led to a surge of what you call it, as it did in his previous term as well, of like of forces to counter him, basically. Because we're seeing a rise in a lot of like leftist senator or Congress people in like being elected for these races that are coming up. And I'm hoping, and I feel like it's probably opening up the eyes of the people to understand that it's like, yeah, we need to get people in there that are going to be working for us. So in a sense, like, it's a positive because of him, but he literally had no, you get me? He didn't direct that, he didn't do anything that as a direct consequence of his actions, I guess you could say. Well, I mean, in a sense it is, because like, it wasn't his intent. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. But as far as like him doing anything that has personally benefited me, like under no circumstance, I haven't seen no benefit to his presidency in any sort of way, for myself. It's ridiculous. Like the effect that this man has had as far as like, and also the fact that like the Republican Party has just essentially just bent the knee for everything. Like his fucking wish is their command, essentially, I think recently Congress with the what was it, the War Powers Act, it fucking failed to pass. Congress can't tell the president not to do anything as far as wars related, because it was I think it was 53 to 60 something. I think it was the final vote. Never mind. It was 47 to 52.
Close.
It got close, but it failed to pass because it was only 47 votes.
No, yeah, but I mean,
and Rand Paul was the only Republican supporting the measure, but you have people like fucking dumbass John Fetterman that voted, for it. John Fetterman needs to be taken out of fucking Congress, dog. This motherfucker, after his stroke, he just started to become basically Republican light. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
I'm not.
He's this big fucking fucker. He's fucking bald, and he was talking about how he couldn't wear fucking suits to Congress because it was like uncomfortable or something like that. I'm not even gonna fucking argue the stuff like that. But he fucking ran as a progressive for the Democratic candidacy as far as like for Senate goes. And then once he got in there, he had a stroke. He just started going more leaning towards the left. I mean, towards the right. He's pro-Israel. He's fucking like basically every vote has been going towards Republican shit.
You think after his stroke, there was some sort of like neurological thing that caused him to go the opposite direction?
No, I think the stroke was an excuse for him to just basically do what he already was planning to do. It was kind of like, I think he's been that from the start. You get me? But he took us for a ride, essentially.
So wolf in sheep's clothing, kind of?
Yeah, pretty much. And so
real quick, because you very briefly brought up Israel. I got a question. What's the difference between anti-Semitism and just racism? Is it
anti-Semitism? I think is because of what was it? Semitic people are supposed to be specific people from that region, wasn't it?
I don't know. That's why I was asking.
I think that's what it meant to be, Semitic. I guess because it's meant to be just because it's discrimination towards Jews as a religious, ethnic, and racial group.
So it's still racism.
Yeah, in a sense. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to take this train of thought back to a debate we had a while ago on a different podcast where you told me you can't be racist to white people because they're in a position of power.
Well, okay. Racism is essentially acted by those in power.
But the argument was at the time I said, well, you said you can't be racist to white people.
Right, because the people and the reasons. Do you mind if I like?
No, that's fine.
So, like, the reasons why you can't be racist towards white people is because white people are the people who are in places of institution of power. You get me? They are the ones who have essentially the upper hand under the
people I understand your logic.
Yeah.
I get
so
that.
Like they can be bigoted towards them, but it's not the same thing. You got me?
Okay. I'm not here to argue those merits. My thing is, so if you can't be racist to a position of power, then you can't call people anti-Semitic. Because wouldn't the Israelis be in a position of power? They have free fucking reign over everything and everyone, it seems like, right? Committing mass genocide. No one's doing a goddamn thing about it. Fucking moving into other people's homes, territories, to other countries. Trying to do it in this country.
Well, I mean, like,
right? They're flying their flag in our locations. Does that not seem like a seat of power?
It absolutely is.
Therefore,
in that sense,
by that logic, right, of not being able to be racist against a position of power, you can't be anti-Semitic against.
But it's not necessarily the same thing, though.
But they're in a position of power. If anti-Semitism is just another like a wrapping for racism, right?
It's
I mean,
it's based on a racial thing, but not necessarily racism. You get me?
Yeah, but the thing is, like, they're conflating their thing is they just wrap it all into one big thing.
No, absolutely.
Right.
Okay, so because of this whole fucking trend of and I mean this as far as like as a Zionist Israel, like as a Israeli Zionists, this whole there needs to be a distinction between the current state of Israel and Zionism.
No, I'm not arguing that. I'm not arguing that. I get that.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, because you can argue with the same principle as white people. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, they're not all within that position, power, blah, blah, blah. But I'm just saying, as a whole, as a collective, if you're going to use that for one, why can't it be applied to this one where it seems to clearly fit?
Because, I mean, like, fucking, like...
Explain to me, please, why you're so pro-Israel.
I'm not pro-Israel. I'm anti-Israel.
Then
as a
please
Jewish,
go on,
as a Jewish ethno state, I do not.
Please continue defending them.
I do not believe Israel
your proxy
should exist.
homeland. Go on.
But
are their tamales better than yours? Is that what this is about? You're trying to adopt a better food culture?
No. So like what I'm gonna say is, and this is in no way like me trying to defend them because for whatever. But
I was joking about that.
No, I know. But what I'm trying to say is that, like, sure, Israel is definitely in a place of power and what you call it, and they are portraying a genocide right now. But Israel is a state. You can't be fucking like in that sort of sense. Like, yes, you can't be fucking anti-Semitic to a state. You get me?
Well, white people's not even a state. It's a, you know what I mean? Like,
no. I get that.
That's what I'm saying. The principles are the same. You're just changing the words around.
But like, there are still fucking like Jews are not at fault for what's going on, and then Jews here in the fucking United States are not the ones who are well, I mean, there are some obviously, but
that's my point, because it's the same argument though on both sides, you know. I'm not here to try to justify anti-Semitism. I'm just saying, mainly because of this, you know, you fucking sneeze, or you know, a Jewish person sneezes and you say fucking bless you or whatever, all of a sudden you're anti-Semitic. Now
right.
My thing is like, well, if there's this logic here that applies to this and it seems to fit really nicely into this, then no, I'm not being anti-Semitic.
But I mean, like, it's one of those things where it's like they're kind of like, they're trying their best to just try to like make sure that everyone is like.
And that's why you need to make these kind of comparisons, because then you get runaway fucking groups like this where it's like, we're untouchable, you know? We're seeing it now with a fucking individual.
Yeah, no. I get that. But you know what's funny though? Like, I believe there was someone who was like, I forgot the name of the person, honestly. But they are like part of a fucking Israeli think tank, right? And basically they posted on Twitter something along the lines as like, Israel needs to do everything that they need to do right now, because the moment that January 29 hits, and if a Democratic nominee ends up taking the seat, they will not be able to do anything else. So like,
they're on a speed run.
They're on a speed run right now. They're trying to get as much done as they possibly can, because they know that. Because let's be real, I think it's become a 90-10 issue right now for any support for Israel or anything of that sort. Nobody wants to fucking support Israel right now. A lot of people are seeing it. And then this brings into another thought that I was thinking about, and it kind of like segues into it as well. You know who Tucker Carlson is, right?
Yeah.
So he's been very hard on the anti-Israel shit for a long time. And it's only like he, in a sense, he's leading the conversation right now for the normies as far as like anti-Israel sentiment goes. So I think he's bidding to run for president for 2028 for the Conservative Party. Imagine we're in the fucking polls, and you have someone like Gavin Newsom that was like just recently saying that he doesn't believe what I think he said this where he said he didn't believe what Israel is doing is a genocide, in comparison to Tucker Carlson, who's like literally fucking just going hard on the fucking anti-Israel train, acknowledging everything that they're doing, and just basically like, why is he leading the conversation on this? Why isn't the Democratic Party doing this? Like, you know, talking about how this is a genocide, how we shouldn't be supporting Israel and all this shit. Like, dude, that's fucking scary. To me, it is, simply because if we reach a point where it's like Gavin Newsom versus versus Tucker Carlson's gonna win. He's got it in the bag, dude. And there comes another fucking 4 years of fascism.
But it goes back to what we've said before, where it's like the left has no one to blame but themselves. You know what I mean? Like,
not the left, the Democrats.
Oh yeah, you're not you're not putting a good forth effort.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, sometimes I wonder if like the situation you're talking about with Carlson, I wonder if that is, oddly enough, maybe the benefit to his faith, to where he might be one of those where it's like, no, I don't care who you are, you know, God's chosen or not, you're fucking killing innocent people that don't need to be killed, you know? Because I don't know Newsom's religious background, if he even has one, but like, you know, how do you not see what's going on, or how do you just kind of turn the blind eye to it?
It's moneyed interests. At least that's what I think.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. It's a weird. Yeah, I see this all the time. Just on YouTube, Reddit, where it's just kind of the same comment everywhere. It's like, oh, I never thought I'd be agreeing with Piers Morgan or Tucker Carlson or Candace Owens, or fucking Taylor Greene, or like just these like what the
these
fuck
right
is
wing
going
fucking
on?
influencers, like legitimately, yeah. It's just the moment that the Democratic Party decided to like fucking defend Israel for its actions, they lost immediately. They lost it because your base is telling you that it's not a good thing. You're not following, and then I think one of the things that the current political climate, I guess you could say, has exposed is the fact that the Democratic Party is just like trying their best just to make sure that everyone falls in line under their fucking their messaging of like Israel is doing everything okay, like they have a right to defend themselves and stuff like that. And the Democratic voters are like, nah, fuck you, dude. We don't care. Like, we don't care about Israel. Like, we have no ties to Israel. You know, even some of the Jewish American folk are fucking like against it. So like, what the fuck are you doing? Where are you going with this fight? It's this very condescending like manner of trying to like kind of like whip everyone into line when it's not working. And rather than seeing the evidence that's like right then in your eyes that this isn't the way to go, you're fucking doubling down and losing your support. And further increasing the chances of your party just not succeeding at all. And the matter of fact is that progressives that end up having to try to enter the races, they have to come in as Democrats because it's the only way that they can get some sort of like visibility. Because if they bring themselves in as third party, nobody takes the third party seriously. So they have to come in as Democrats. But they ultimately are presenting an alternative to the Democratic Party, and the people are liking it, but the Democratic Party doesn't want to go that way, so they end up fighting against it, right? We're seeing it with like a lot of like the most recent thing is like the whole like the Democrats fighting the Hassan Piker shit, where it backfired on them because Abdul Al-Sayed in, I believe, Michigan, he's number one right now. He's polling number one as far as like that race that he's in.
Yeah.
So we need more of that. But yeah, I just like I don't know. Like it's scary because the Democrats are putting forth fucking unpopular candidates. It's almost like they're just like trying too hard to defend their moneyed interests over what the people actually want. And the thing is like, because the rhetoric right now is so concentrated on what Israel is doing right now, I mean, Tucker Carlson would fucking win it because his messaging is on the right side of it, you know?
Why do you think that is, though?
What do you mean?
Like, why do you think his messaging is on the right side of it?
He's acknowledging the genocide.
No, I know, but what separate, like, what?
Let me, like, not to say that it's on the right side, to say that his fucking, like, his vision is on the right, but more so, like, he's leading the conversation on it to where he's able to pull people to his fold. Because ultimately, there is a very negative anti-Israel, sentiment because of the fucking war crimes they're committing and the genocide that they're doing right now as far as like the Palestinian people. Not to mention everything that they've been doing right now as far as like the Iran war.
No. I get that. I guess what I meant was, why do you think that is, that he's on that right side where it's like, I guess my thing was like, he's the unexpected ally here. You know
not even an ally. It's more so like,
I guess I have no better word for it in this circumstance, but
the reasons why he's doing it, is that what you're telling me, or it's more so like,
well, why is it it seems like you're having quite a few like pretty well-known conservatives kind of just seemingly over Israel, you know what I mean? All of us, like, not all of a sudden, but even like Charlie Kirk, like supposedly that's the whole reason he's dead now, right? But like, whereas like you brought up like Newsom and another like Democrats and stuff, where they're still pretty kind of like softball with them.
I think they've these people aren't fucking stupid. Like, I'm talking about like Tucker Carlson and all these fucking like right wing influencers. They're not stupid. They're seeing the trends and they're like, okay, this is where we need to get off the boat and we need to take we need to switch off to the next one so that we can, you know, continue and become and continue to be relevant. So I wouldn't be surprised also that there is probably some, in the case of like Tucker Carlson, I wouldn't be surprised if there is some anti-Semitic, you know, sentiment behind the reasoning why he's doing it too as well. I mean, that's just me, but like a lot of his fucking shit is very like a lot of the stuff that he talks about is very fucking racially motivated. He talks shit about fucking like he mentions it and then kind of like hides it under a veneer of like, oh, I'm just concerned. You know, that's a lot of his segments in fucking Fox were that. You get me? It's just one of those things where like I feel like there is I feel like he already thinks that Jewish people are bad in general, and there's anti-Semitic sentiment just on his stuff alone. But he recognized that there is a negative association right now if you are pro-Israel, and so then he's just kind of like riding that train. Which I mean, to him, it doesn't matter though. It still benefits him one way or another, because if he starts going on an anti-Semitic rant or something like that, or even try to like suggest something that's vaguely anti-Semitic, his base is still going to take it. They're going to be okay with it. But now that the whole thing is shifted a little bit more towards his side, he comes the leader because now everyone else sees it. And although they all see it because of what's actually happening and they're not thinking in an anti-Semitic way, but it kind of just like converges and aligns with what he's talking about. And then the dangerous part about that is that he can easily pull in people through that and essentially make them agree with his fucking viewpoints if he were to go even more anti-Semitic about them. That's what's scary to me. You get me?
No, I get you. But like, as you were explaining, I was kind of thinking like my thought was, and it not only applies to him, but you know, the other people I mentioned, the ones that kind of turned, I feel that shit comes from like their sense of, and I have to stress their sense of their idea of vision of that America first, where that's why they were so pro-Trump, because that was his thing. America for, you know, make America great again. And when you're so up Israel's ass, it's like, that's not America, that's Israel first. Yeah. That's where I always felt like that came from. Like whether there's anti-Semitism behind all that, whatever, I don't know. But my thing was like, these were, I legit feel like, for better or worse, they, in their head, want to put this country first. Like I said, for better or worse, whatever their vision is. Like, even to them, they're saying, well, you can't do this with our current setup.
Absolutely. But I mean, like, again...
I'm not justifying it, but that's just my take on it.
I know. And there definitely is a sort of like an America First sentiment, but it's still that sort of like, kind of like, there's still that vision in their motivation to, or their motivation is for the America First, and their thought of what America First should be is still almost in a sense an ethno fucking, you know.
Yeah.
You get me? So like, regardless of whatever you put it, like their America First isn't the same thought of like maybe a leftist perspective of America First. You get me? That's what I'm trying to say. What you sent me something recently, no?
I've been sending you a lot of stuff.
But I mean, like the last thing that I remember you sending me was what was it?
One of the last things I remember was
that the Caitlyn Jenner shit.
Oh yeah, and I just sent you that to be like, that's why I will never call him her.
I mean,
because
that's fair. I mean, I think that's acceptable. Like I've said it before in this podcast, so I think that's acceptable.
Of all the things to cry about, that's what he's gonna cry about.
But it's just like, it's your just desserts. You get me?
That's what I'm saying.
You deserve
and
this.
It's not like, I know I come off, especially on the other podcast, but it's not about being the trans thing. It's about wanting that respect for your decision. But no, bro, because you fought so much for that recognition and respect, and then you did everything just to erase it by your vote. Yeah. So don't give me that shit. Come on, because you're putting your money, your finances over your supposed abilities.
Yeah, exactly. So, no. Yeah. So like
I'm not going to grant you that. I'll grant everyone else that.
You get no fucking like, no any sort of pity from me or anything of that sort. But it's still in a sense politically related. Have you heard of Operation Dildo Blitz?
It has to do with Tesla, right? Or
no.
It sounds familiar. Then I've at least heard the name or the.
So This one's from, I believe, was the blockclubchicago.org. Protesters wheeled sex toys outside of ICE facility in Broadview for Operation Dildo Blitz.
Oh yeah, this is okay. Now I remember. I did see stills of like ICE agents walking through somewhere and a bunch of dildos on the floor. Okay, okay, yeah.
With dildos in hand, protesters gathered outside Immigration and Customs Enforcement's processing center in Broadview Saturday as part of a series of nationwide protests against ICE. So there's been similar protests earlier this year, dubbed Operation Dildo Blitz. Protesters chanted, played games, performed music, all with dildos. Dildos were thrown in the air, fixed to cars and signs, and used to play games like bags and ring toss. A very creative way to play with adult toys. Mm-hmm. Let's just say that. Abe, an organizer of the local protester, said the logistics of the last couple of weeks have been insane. We've been moving dicks around all these states and have more than 350 here in Broadview today, with more than 6,000 available nationally. It is said that the dildos have been provided by a sex shop that went out of business in Minneapolis. The Broadway ICE facility has been the site of many themed protests, including a series of religious protests where services were held and a custom protest in Halloween weekend. So I think we need more of this Operation Dildo Blitz. I need it to be happening everywhere.
I really like how dildos became a sign of protest.
Right.
Like, I don't know when that happened or why, but because like that picture I showed you of I think it was after the Doge shit of when people were like vandalizing the Teslas.
Right.
The fucking Tesla I seen on the freeway with the dildo stuck on the top of it. Just like, yeah, I don't know. I love it though. I love that for us.
You know what I think it is because like, and it tends to be fucking huge dildos too. So it's more so kind of like telling them you have small dick energy. Basically, that's what it is. I mean, that's what I perceive. That's what I see from it. But you know what? Let's use more dildos for protests. I want people to like. There's I don't know if you've played Cyberpunk 2077.
No.
There's 2 weapons that are dildos. They're melee weapons. They're clubs. I think one of them is called Sir Philistine, and the other one was called something else. But whole point is high damaging weapons.
real quick, just because you say that, I immediately thought of The Boys.
Yeah,
with their
sausage party,
just beating the motherfucking inmates with his dick,
dude.
And then just murdering them with his own dick.
Dude, when he fucking stabbed the fucking tip of his dick with whatever oh my god, I
felt
was like,
that, dude.
Oh, dude,
I felt that.
Yeah, I felt it too. Honestly, dog, I feel like we need more of this and like theme protests just to bring more attention to it because that's the only way you're going to bring constant attention to it as well. And I mean, make them feel uncomfortable. That's the whole point of the protest is to make them feel uncomfortable. I remember seeing a video where they were trying to like the ICE agents were trying to use their feet to like broom the dildos in there, and they're looking at it in disgust. And I'm like, dude, it's just a fucking toy.
It's like what, rubber or silicone or whatever.
It's a silicone toy that looks like a fucking dick. You have one.
Yeah.
It might be small, but you have one, you know? So like, what the fuck?
It's not going to hurt you.
It's not going to hurt you. Like such disgust for seeing penis. This is so stupid, honestly. Like how sensitive are these fucking people that they're like hiring for this process? You get me? Stupid.
Well, they have to be. They have to be sensitive. They have to be like malleable.
Yeah, that is true.
Like none of those people that went there to sign up for ICE are the alphas they think they are.
Yeah, that's
like not a one of them.
Yeah,
they're all alphas in their head.
Yeah,
but not a one of them are.
None of them are.
And that's what they prey on.
Imagine like, okay, like my thought is, okay, so this place went out of business in Minneapolis, and they said something about what was it like?
It was like 6K,
6,000 available nationally, dude. Holy fuck, dude. They must have gotten a really good discount in that fucking order to have 6,000 like dildos in stock.
Didn't they say it was donated?
No, yeah, but I mean, like it's like it's coming from this fucking sex shop in
Minneapolis. Yeah, but if there is no discount if it's donated.
No, what I'm talking about is like when they purchased the Minneapolis like business that went out of business, like they must have gotten a fucking good discount for them.
Maybe, but that's assuming they're all the same. Yeah, it could just be 6 because of all the different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what that makes sense.
So it's just whatever was in there. And remember, I can't imagine they're all fucking big old dildos. I'm sure some of them are like a small one. You know what I mean? So it's like
definitely.
I can see it,
but
I can see it. Which I think you need that representation, all shapes and sizes.
The small dildos.
Keep the spirit of representation alive, man.
But They like that whole article had a bunch of different images and shit like that of like the protests and stuff like that. There was like a snare head, not even a snare, it was just a drum head or a drum that had a bunch of dildos all around it. And it was just like, holy shit. I'm hoping they were using the dildos as drumsticks, you know, and stuff like that.
I think we need to start a GoFundMe for the next one of those.
Yeah.
But all the dildos need to be that Moby Dick.
Dude. No, that
and then you know how to be?
Make a float.
No, we'll do it like Saving Private Ryan. You know when they put those anti-tank landing stuff on the beaches to keep them from the... Yeah, we'll just do that so the ice vehicles can't get past. So just a bunch of Moby Dicks and those weird star formations to keep their trucks going through.
Yeah, oh my God, dude. We'll build walls with dildos poking out of them.
No walls.
Why not?
Because walls are representative of the other side.
Oh, that is very true. That makes sense.
It's a battle of metaphors. We're just gonna have a bunch of open doors.
Right.
Instead of a bunch of doors, but they're all gonna be open.
They're all gonna be open. But on each post, there's gonna be a big dildo.
Yeah.
We have to ensure that we show them that we have bigger dicks than theirs, metaphorically at least.
A bunch of Moby Dicks just everywhere.
Can you imagine that, dude? Like, fuck. Can you imagine a huge battering ram that's literally a fucking huge dildo, dude? Fuck me. I know for a fact that Moby Dick,
but it can't be. It has to be like flexible, still like a normal one.
No,
so it'll never knock down the door.
It'll just
be yeah.
All right, this got a little too out of hand, but on ending that particular story, like, yeah, I think that's pretty dope. Honestly, like I said, I think we need more of that stuff going on and about, just because like it will bring attention. You know, it's just like it because over time, because it's happening so often, it just kind of gets stuck in there. Like,
it all blends together.
It all blends together.
Just another protest.
And so we need to start making the protests a little bit more unique.
And honestly, it's not even so much like, the uniqueness, but like something like that, when you hear about a protest like that, and they're protesting nice, but it's like, it almost becomes hard to be like, well, they went there to cause problems. Yeah, but they also went there to be like trolls. You know what I mean? Like,
you get me.
They're fucking around with dildos.
Yeah. What threat did these people bring? Like, holy shit, they came at me with a big dildo.
If the dildos are black, that's an obvious threat.
Good God, dude.
That's a shoot on sight.
That's a fucking racist.
That's a shoot on sight.
No fucking mentality that they have. I don't know. I feel like we need more of this. More. I need that Kylo Ren gif. More.
Kylo Ren. God damn it.
That's what we need, dog. All right. We're gonna bring it up to an end here. I think that cop story, or not the cop story, sorry, the whole dildo thing
That's
was a good positive to end it in here. John, did you want to plug in anything?
No, other than I guess just our Twitter.
Oh, he's looking for people to play the Isle with. So.
Oh yeah. I guess if you want to play the Isle, you can add my Discord. It's Gaki GAKI_138. Other than that, I got nothing. But yeah, the Twitter for this thing, it's IB2W pod. So
yeah, if you ever want to say anything or comment, questions, or anything of that sort, just post it there, and I'll get back to you whenever I get the notification. Because quite frankly, like I don't really use that Twitter myself or anything. I mainly just end up researching outside of Twitter now for any stories or anything of that sort. But if you want to follow me, you can find me on Twitter and Blue Sky. Just look up Chubby Caesar Pro. You can also find me on Twitch, YouTube, and Instagram, Chubby Caesar Pro. TikTok as well. I post short form content on those three, or on those social medias. I haven't been streaming much, but I'm hoping that next week I'll be starting streaming again, and I should be streaming Halo ODST. So. Yep.
But here's the thing, bro. You stream while I'm at work.
That's not my fault.
It is your fault. You get a normal job too, motherfucker. Get yourself a normal ass fucking job so you could come home.
You know what? No, there's no excuse. My YouTube has all the VODs. You can watch the VODs there if you want to.
It's not the same though, because I want to harass you on the chat. Like I want to, like, it's not the same. It's not the same.
But that is the end of this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, we'll see you in 2 weeks, man.
You guys have a good one.
Good night.
Intro-outro song is Wah Game Loop by Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech.com, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 4.0, http://creativecommons.org/licenses/by/4.0/